My name is Keithlyn Carew and I'm the Executive Director of Helens Daughters. Helens Daughters really started out of being raised in a farming family on both sides, but really being inspired by my maternal grandmother, who was a farmer and a market vendor. And I just realized that while she had passed away 20 some odd years ago, the situation with women in agriculture had not really changed. Women are very much a big part of the agricultural sector and very active, but when you look at official statistics, it shows a very male-dominated field. But when you actually look on the ground, you see that women are really actively a part of it. And I think that, one, being from a farming family, and two, never being able to actually be formally introduced into the agricultural sector, whether it was through the education system or otherwise, just went to show me that we really needed to actually, one, foster a more inclusive environment for support of women in the sector, and two, because women also dominate sectors like agritourism and very creative types of processing that are very, I would say, attractive to the tourism sector. Our agritourism network as well provides a space to support women farmers who are interested in that sphere. So what we do is we actually provide startup capital in the range of about 5,000 EC for the creation of whether it's water tanks, foot trails, bathrooms, whatever is needed to create that space for the agritourism. We also provide the marketing for that agritourism product, as well as liability insurance. So all the obstacles that women or agricultural producers usually have to actually access that market, we are able to do so. And another beauty is that we do have a linkage with a local tour company, Cox & Company, which connects our agritourism products to the wider world as well. We are guided, obviously, as a non-profit by the UN SDGs, and SDG number 9 is quite important. I think in terms of building resilient infrastructure, persons overlook simple things such as rainwater harvesting, but for us, that's actually an adaptation method for climate change. In St. Lucia, just last year, we experienced longer periods of droughts. Currently, right now, we have drought periods really in the rainy season. So what we've done, our water tank program recognizes that every single farmer essentially needs to have some type of rainwater harvesting device. So we have taken it upon ourselves since last year to provide at least 10 tanks a year for women in agriculture who really are not able to access a water tank out of sheer need. And what that means is, one, it affects, again, our food production. It reduces our cost of importing foods from outside. And finally, it supports a woman in agriculture, because it's not just about her farm and being able to keep up with her farm, but also being able to support her entire family. In terms of, I think, fostering innovation and so forth, I think that Helens Daughters does a really fantastic job, because it's not just a non-profit focused on supporting women in agriculture, but it's really creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem, an ecosystem that where you really see peer-to-peer support. While the organization does provide access to markets and capacity development and mentorship, you really see that like-minded individuals, unique innovations, and perhaps, I think, even the knowledge sharing within the network increases the capacity and I think the entrepreneurial spirit in general in the women that we work with. What's more exciting is that about a year and a half ago, Hotel Chocolat and Helens Daughters actually signed a partnership, and it covers 3 areas. One, the first area is that Hotel Chocolat is almost a home away from home, so it hosts a number of our co-creation retreats where we devise our program of work and so forth. The second, which is the largest, is it's home to our apprenticeship program. So there is no such thing like that in the Caribbean region, which is an all-female agri-apprenticeship program which provides us space. We actually built out a climate resilient farm on the property of Project Chocolat, and it provides us space for 2 young women every year to, one, be able to manage an agribusiness because Hotel Chocolat is a direct buyer, and 2, to actually get an agritourism experience in terms of hosting tours and so forth as well. And finally, it inspired us to also include in our Rural Women's Academy training programs agritourism, because we noticed that many agricultural producers don't realize the linkage or the marriage between agriculture and tourism. So starting from last year, we've introduced agritourism to our St. Lucia cohorts, St. Kitts and Nevis, and also St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think that is really important for countries like St. Lucia. When you talk about tourism and green investments, it really shows essentially a nexus between tourism and sustainability. And what that nexus means is that while we can still create jobs and obviously stimulate the local economy, that means that it doesn't have to come at a cost. So it still means that we can protect our natural and cultural assets while also showcasing what we have to the rest of the world. And most importantly, for me, it means inclusivity and support of our local businesses, organizations, and individuals that are actually protecting our heritage while opening it up to a wider audience.
My name is Alberta John, the Agriculture and Outreach Officer at Helens Daughters and Hotel Chocolat Apprentice Farm and Program. We believe in partnership for development and are happy to have this relationship with the hotel. We grow cucumbers, eggplants, tomatoes, zucchini, cabbage, spring onion, parsley, watermelon, lettuce. Everything harvested on this farm is used by the hotel's kitchen.
At Hotel Chocolat, we view tourism and green investment through the lens of agritourism, which provides perfect coexistence between luxury tourism and nature-positive agriculture. In St. Lucia, there is an abundance of beauty and experiences that we could offer, which is not necessarily beachfront, which is one of the factors which influence the unique product that we provide. Project Chocolat was introduced in 2021, but I'll share with you the journey up until then. We came to St. Lucia in 2006 and purchased this crab estate to basically learn and understand the process of growing sustainable cocoa. And to do so, we partnered with our local communities and farmers to revitalize the cocoa industry on island. And in doing so afterwards, we saw the opportunity to share that experience, after which we introduced our Rabo restaurant, which is renowned for its unique Kako-infused cuisine, and in 2021 we introduced Project Chocolat, where visitors and locals alike could come and experience the full process of sustainable chocolate production, from the tree to the bar itself, in an immersive environment. Some of the linkages, one I could mention is Helens Daughters. And the other is our gentle farming program, which consists of 70 plus farmers across the island. That program, the key tenet of it is to support people and nature. And what we do is we support farmers across the island which will grow cocoa in a truly sustainable and ethical way by guaranteeing to purchase all the cocoa they can produce at an above market premium price. Some of the other things I could touch on includes our packaging, our solar usage. 70% of the water that we use in our hotel and at Project Chocolat is rainwater harvesting.
Too many persons believe that tourism belongs to foreigners and not to St. Lucians. Green investment encompasses all that we do here within St. Lucia, different gems, different products, but ultimately and intrinsically, Fondo captures this. A lot of persons have land that could be used for green investment. Just imagine, 20 years ago, my husband's father purchased this property. What do you do when you have debt on a property? We diversified into tourism. We were able to have that tourism product, a heritage site that encompassed restaurants, tours, and agriculture as well. Started with an abandoned building in the north of the island. A lot of the architecture, as you can see, it's over 200 years. So the historical value of these buildings, people travel all over the world. They go to Europe and other places in the world. They see these historical values, but what do? Persons tear down these buildings here in St. Lucia. So we started with our heritage, these historical buildings, and opened up 5 of these cottages, transplanted the one in the north, purchased it for only $2,000 as a matter of fact, and planted it here at Fondo Eco Resort. So we now have 20 cottages, 20 rooms, and then in time it grew that we were able to win awards, the North American award for, in terms of for Fondo Eco Resort. We became certified by Green Globe. So these are external auditors who come in and they actually measure your various, in terms of utilities, the consumption of electricity, water, your usage of chemicals. So we are definitely organic and we are certified as an organic plantation. But apart from that, in time, we started to incorporate enough of our local talent. So for example, you will see in our cottages a local artisan. We just recently opened the Fondo Historic Park. We feel that a lot of persons don't really accept our history. Why are we not looking at this history and seeing what can we learn from it and how can we utilize it? That's the important thing. I remember years ago when we had all of these young women who were able to do straw mats and bags and all of that out of, these products that we have right here in St. Lucia. So we have a young woman who is there in our gift shop and she creates baskets and other different products instead of just being able to, to import all of these baskets.
So So what we're doing, we actually gonna pour it on the beans to preserve, keep it nice, remove all the dust, clean and fresh. And also you get a chocolate pretty short. This is what we call the Chocolat dancing. Get that wine
In our chocolate shop, for example, we have a local St. Lucian who we were able to teach the whole production of chocolate. In the past, chocolates, we had cocoa, we only did cocoa sticks. But look, this is another avenue for somebody to be trained and to learn. And from there, we were able to produce another stream of revenue just from the, selling chocolate, okay? One of the very first things that we did here at Fondo, we did not want to destroy the environment, meaning that we did not want to cut down all of the trees. So we worked within our environment, meaning that we were able to position all of the cottages within the trees. That is one of the major things that we were able to incorporate into the designs of the building. The second thing was also the usage of solar. So solar is one of the primary uses that we had to do. So we had to be able to balance it in a sense, not cut any trees in being able to use, so the sun, the solar panels, so this was one of the second endeavors to be able to use solar. So we were able to reduce our carbon footprints. The third thing that we did was to be able to, reduce plastics, single-use plastics. So in the past, we used all of these, small plastic bottles of shampoos, conditioners, soaps, and we were able to place dispensers into each of the units. The fourth was to be able to, even at the bars and restaurants, so we have tried to get rid of as many plastic bottles as possible. It may be that St. Lucia's not being able to have a proper recycle program yet. So yes, every now and then soft drinks, but in every other aspect, we have been able to incorporate all of these best practices from Green Global.
My name is Jameson Alphonse. I manage and run Greenhaven Fresh Farms. Greenhaven Fresh Farms include a farm where we do aquaponics with the greenhouse production, open field production. We also do rainwater harvesting rainwater from all our structures. We have solar panels, which is used to power our aquaponics system and the farm as well. We also do composting, pretty much reusing all waste on the farm and add it back to the soil. We also have an ecotourism component of the farm where we have a petting zoo. We have a few gaming birds, a few animals. We also have a herbal garden and a little heritage cultural area where we have a platin, we have a poultry house and a few other farmyard pretty much designed to facilitate and host agritourism tours. I started my farm in 2010 into 2011, so the farm component has been in operation for over 13 years going. The farm component, like I said earlier, included the aquaponics, including the farming aspect. Many persons who've been to my farm always say that it's a beautiful place. I can host tours. Why not allow persons to pay to visit hosting tours? And well, hosting tours was always part of the farm setup. If you look at the layout, you could see clearly designed for such. And I got in contact with Cox & Company, who wanted to do some farm tours for the cruise sector. They came to me, we had a discussion, I came out and developed the ecotourism part of the farm tour, where we have the zoo, we have the farmyard, the herbal garden, and they were wow. And we started last year, October. So pretty much we're into 1 year in the agritourism component of the farm. We have many sustainable practices on the farm. One is the aquaponics. Aquaponics is basically growing of fish and plants, vegetables in the same system. The water in the system is recirculated, reused, so it uses 90% less water than traditional farming. So by virtue of using aquaponics, that is a sustainable means, and I know the UNDP support that as one of the sustainable growth. We do composting, which is reusing of the whatever waste on the farm, recycle. We do solar energy, solar power, so it's pretty much carbon-free green energy that to power the aquaponics system. We also, even the farmyard, we use pretty close to nature, using stonework to develop the farmyard, which is also sustainable way. So we have and is continuing to incorporate sustainable practices in everything we do. Green investment tourism, I think of sustainability, a sustainable product that is used as tourism. So where you have some, whether it's a community-based product, whether it's a product that's eco-friendly, including trees, include farm, include community, include maybe coastline, that's what comes to mind now. I grow many lettuce, tomatoes. I do some ground provisions like potatoes. I do cucurbits. I do sell to the leading restaurant chain on island. Also supply the hotel and supermarkets as well. With reference to the agritourism, I mentioned my linkage with the cruise tourism sector. I also currently working with community tourism agency. We're in the verge of creating a partnership where they will help me to develop a bigger hotel area, restaurant area, and also to develop the agritourism component like the farmyard and whatnot greater. So my go-to would be the community tourism agency, and thank you to them for coming on board and helping me develop further what I've started.
I think that we're realizing that our guest palettes are really changing. They don't want a one-size-fits-all customer or guest experience. Now persons want to really come into our country and really immerse themselves and live like a local. And who better than to immerse and show them how locals live than locals themselves? Which means that I believe that native populations really need to have a seat at the table in terms of decision making. And also I think there needs to be really more support.
So my piece of advice, I think definitely there are organizations around the island who are trying to push that sustainability agenda. And I think if the government would continue support these organizations trying to push that agenda, particularly in the tourism and agricultural industries, through incentives, for example, tax reliefs and benefits, etc.
For example, education for the, whether it's a chef, you look at in terms of landscaping, in terms of, we have pools as well, we have, air conditioning units, you look at tradespeople, electricians, plumbers. These are the challenges that that persons in the tourism sector experience. But on another level, so somebody, for example, I say start small because that's how we started Fondo Eco Resort.
Many of us have dreams, we have aspirations, we have big ideas, but putting into fruition, there are many hurdles, and there the policymakers come in place to help achieve those goals. I could list some of those challenges: access to finance, access to, in terms of technical assistance, in some cases marketing assistance, some cases business support. So the policymakers can come together and help create those. A lot of those are currently being done. Community tourism agencies providing most or all those facilities to their participants. So I would say that more persons can inquire about them and join them so that they can help facilitate, develop their products.